Welcome to the With Purpose podcast. I am Sabby. Across the table from me, we got Mr. Gio Sandz.
Yo. That was my cue. I was a little late on the cue.
No, it's all good, man. How you feeling?
I'm Gucci. Everything's smooth out here. I'm feeling good.
You just got back from a hiatus on the West Coast. How was that, man?
Oh yeah, I was out on the West Coast for a couple weeks. It was dope. It was much needed. Did some getting away from people at Joshua Tree and some shows out in the Bay in LA. It was dope.
What's the difference that you've seen with like West Coast crowd and Chicago crowd?
West Coast crowd is definitely different. It's a whole nother vibe of its own. And within the West Coast, the Bay Area and LA are very different. They're both their own complete different identity. But yeah, the parties are dope. I'm a really big fan of the Bay Area music. I like how they turn up to their vibe and stuff. It's something you really got to see for your own. But there's songs that definitely like slap there that people in Chicago would never rock with.
Yeah.
But to see them going crazy for it is definitely super dope. And then LA is LA. You got those real super cool parties. Everybody's sexy and the vibe, the weather is perfect. So that's always a fun vibe spinning out in LA. So I would say overall the West Coast was very refreshing and much needed.
Can they like? Can they tell that you're not from the area when you're DJing or like?
No, well, whenever I DJ anywhere out of town, I'm always dropping my little Chicago drop, or I shouldn't say my drop, but it's Chicago drop.
Yeah.
That's just like a part of the style I like to incorporate, especially when I'm out of town. I think it's dope. Just letting people know where you're from and yeah, so it's kind of straightforward. Whenever I spin out of town, I'm always dropping, OK Gio and Chicago drops. So yeah, they don't need to guess. They know where I'm from.
Yeah, they heard it like 5 times the last like 5 songs.
Right, exactly.
That's dope, man. I mean, do you see yourself building in all these other cities too as well outside of Chicago?
Yeah, for sure. Every city that I would say since COVID, every city that I spun, it's been pretty dope. I've created pretty big web of relationships. So yeah, everything from Houston to Nashville to LA, San Francisco, Philly, they're all popping, and I have DJ homies in each one of those cities.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say that it's growing every time you play. And that's the thing, like if you ever play out of town, you should always leave that town with some type of connection to more fans or to DJ homies, whatever the case may be. If you're not doing those things when you're spinning out of town, then that really defeats the purpose of DJing in another city.
Right.
So yeah, I try to definitely build as many bridges as possible.
I see that, and I feel like that kind of reflects to Tengo Funk. That's your collective that you've been running.
Yeah.
You being exposed to all these different areas, these different cultures, it kind of helps you when you come back and get in your Tengo mode to, all right, I'm gonna apply this that I learned or I saw, or you know what I mean?
Right, exactly. I mean, the whole reason I started Tengo Funk was because of the year prior, I was doing a lot of traveling with Fancy Fucks, which is the DJ group I'm part of. We produce a lot of house music. And
shout out Bibby.
Yep, shout out Booty Man. So yeah, like just doing actually the Bay, it's ironic. We had went to the Bay, we had seen some parties out there that was very unique, and we got inspired by that. But just doing shows in Puerto Rico, Miami, WMC shows, Art Basel, stuff like that, it really inspired us to just create our own entity. And at the time, this is 4 years ago, but at the time everybody was doing rap parties, and there was 100 rap parties every weekend. But that's what made us want to do tropical vibes and more world music.
Yeah, especially with how cold Chicago is, you gotta make the
Right,
music
yeah,
warm.
You need something to warm us up in these cold months.
Yeah. Now you said when the early years of Tengo Funk, like how'd that even come apart? Where's that even originate from? Tango
Uh,
Funk.
so yeah, no, it just after like that year of traveling, doing a bunch of shows all around the country and in Puerto Rico. We just came back to Chicago and we just decided that that would be something that we would focus on moving forward, was creating an environment that we are able to fully get creative and represent us and who we are and what we like to listen to and what we think a party, a really good party should be.
Yeah.
So yeah, and 4 years
No
later, yeah,
limitations. Yeah.
exactly, yeah,
No manager telling you got to play it like this or
exactly,
you
yeah.
know.
It was Tango Funk is from the beginning to the end, every bit of what we want to listen to,
Yeah.
to be around. Every bit of the vibe is controlled by us, and that's exactly what
Yeah.
you know.
And I think it speaks very for itself because even when I've gone to my first Tango Funk, like that's immediately the vibe I caught when I was in the room, where it's like there's no rules here. It's just whatever's hot is hot in this room.
Yeah, no, for sure. And also, a big thing is like musically, I feel like people. It's so a party. There's a ton of different aspects of a good party, but when it comes to musically, if you're in an environment where you didn't think people would be so hyped to hear music that you might not even heard before, some grooves that just getting people the energy there, that really says something, and that creates an overall easygoing, just the sound for the love for the music, the dance, everything, just that's all energy. And I feel like when people are dancing to music that they're not used to,
Yeah.
when they might have never heard, but for some reason they're shaking that ass.
Yeah.
That says a lot, And
It's almost like you found or you helped them find a new part of themselves.
yeah, you can say that. And that's just what I've seen over the years with Tango Funk. It's not necessarily that the venue is super exclusive or anything like that. We
Yeah.
love the venue that we've done it in Virgin Hotel, rooftop, Cerise rooftop. But I wouldn't say it's just the venue. It's a combination of things. But when you have that music that people are just grooving to, and it's not.
Yeah.
We used to have a rule in the beginning of the Tango Funk days where I didn't want anybody to play any hip hop. You can play some like remixes of hip hop, but stay away from hip hop. Let's just keep it dance.
Yeah.
And I've always had that feeling about dance music, whether it's reggae, salsa, reggaeton, whatever. It just keeps that love up and that energy.
Yeah. It's a very to me, I feel like those Caribbean sounds, those Afrobeat sounds, is very spiritual connected. It's like there's a spiritual root to that type of, whether it's the BPM or it's the certain instruments that are always used. Like it's something that's very spiritual, and that you just start shaking.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, so that's what makes me a big fan of what you do personally, and even with Tango Funk, it's just like it's you've created some kind of I don't want to get all too crazy, but it does feel like when you're in this room with all these people, and it's a lineup that is curated by Gio Sandz. So Gio knows how this whole night kind of wants to experience. He knows what you want to hear. So it's like you're stepping into the mind of Gio a bit, or that Tango Funk zone. You know what I mean? You're whatever you thought you liked before, coming here open minded, because you're gonna find some new shit that you like.
Right.
That's always saw it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's dope that people can feel that, because that's definitely what like what we're aiming for, and
Yeah.
we hope to continue just providing those vibes,
Right.
those properties.
People are seeing it. The city's seeing it. So, because you got to Lala with it, and how did that happen? To where I know how it happened, but
right.
these people know how it happened.
Yeah, so with Lollapalooza this past summer, we had got reached out to by a company based out of New York, and they were looking for I guess they were looking at a handful of creatives in the city that had been doing stuff for a while, and Tango Funk was one of the creatives. Sorry, one of the collectives, I should say. So yeah, they just reached out and they wanted us to control the music for, I believe,
Yeah.
the Saturday of Lollapalooza. And yeah, we got to book a handful of Tengo Funk DJs and to provide the music for that night. So yeah, it was pretty sick.
Was that surreal? Kind of like getting that call or that email of like, we want you to curate this for Lala. Like, was
Yeah, it definitely, yeah, it's funny with a lot of experiences like that. It always just like one day you get a call and that call is just an opportunity that you probably never expected. So yeah, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anybody was looking for for artists to take over like that. But yeah, so they reached out to me and some of our mutual friends, and yeah, we ended up making it work, and it was a beautiful event.
yeah? Did that like? Because I mean, when you really think about it, you just got out of, or we were kind of going in and out of this pandemic, and you're like, yo, I'm about to hit the biggest festival in the state right now, maybe even the country.
Right.
And like, what has that done for you even 6 months after the fact now? You kind of been on this roll. You just finished a West Coast run. It's the top of the year right now too, heading into 2022. Like, is it kind of shifted your whole perspective on Tango Funk or even shed new light on what you can grow with it?
Yeah, I just it really it opened my eyes to how much how far you can go with the work you put in,
Yeah.
and how many people are paying attention to who's doing what.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily something that you might be told after every event, but there's definitely people always eyes open on who's doing what, and who's getting creative and standing out. So it just showed me that just keep on grinding. um at the end of the day, I want to progress and hopefully go to the headliner stage at some point in my career.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a dope step to that
Yeah.
step moving forward. And yeah, no, I count my blessings every day, and I thought that was definitely something that opened my eyes to it can only go up from now.
Yeah. How does this make you feel do you still feel like the DJ you were when you were like 18, kind of grinding through high school parties, but now it's like a different grind? You know what I mean? Do you still feel like that hungry young DJ on the scene, or is it different?
Yeah, so it's dope. I definitely don't feel like the young DJ in the scene, but what's interesting is that you're always gonna be you're always a new DJ in some scene.
Mhm.
And if you're going to be traveling, doing shows, then if you're playing shows in a city that you're not from, it's always fresh, and it feels exciting, and there's always that little sense of nervousness that I feel like little butterflies that get you, which is what you need. You don't want it to be dull when you perform. You don't want to just be super comfortable, and
Yeah.
So yeah, I still have a drive. I love going to other cities that I'm not comfortable with, and knowing that I gotta represent for my city, for myself, make sure I kill my set,
Mhm.
which is always a beautiful thing if you're able to accomplish. Go to another city and fuck the shit up, and it's like, wow, you did that. I like to make it. I like to be clear with if you are aspiring DJ and you do get an opportunity to play in another city, it's important that you really do kill your set. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, and that's obvious. Like, you want to do the best you can, but just understand that if you're not representing at that point, you're not just representing yourself. You're representing your city. You're representing like what the sound is, what DJs, how hard DJs go from there. If you're
Yeah.
not prepared for that, I feel like it's just it can almost take you in a step backwards, because you
Mhm.
might not ever get that opportunity again. So DJs, be ready for
Yeah.
for these opportunities. Don't take on more than you can handle, and when it comes down to it, you shot yourself in the foot, and
Yeah.
now you're not, that, yeah. But if you do practice and you have some. Lately, I've been really making like sets in advance, not
Yeah.
necessarily song for song, but knowing a little bit more of what I want to play for sure that day.
Have an outline in a way.
Yeah, because I never used to do that, but certain shows are required more of your organization.
Yes.
And you shouldn't have to like go through your library and play the same.
Yeah.
You should know exactly how you want to be different
Or be stuck up there on the like just searching through the next song.
Right.
So much.
Because that's easy to do when you have when you're in a club or something and there's people, you're feeding off their energy right away.
Yeah.
But a couple of past festivals that I did this year, I had my like a playlist or a set kind of set, and it was the day and night, so performance energy wise.
Yeah.
So I learned my lesson, and nowadays
You're confident when you step up there. You're like, all right, I know where this is kind of heading.
Confident, and nothing is ever gonna be how you expect it to be.
Yeah.
Festivals are a little different. I will say that, like, festivals, you do exactly what you want to do, and the crowd, is gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
When you're at a party, and that's just a festival.
Yeah.
When you're at a party, at a club or something like that, a lounge, you can have a set of music that you might want to think that you're gonna play, and the people came to get ratchet or some shit, and you're like, I'm not gonna play these Kate Tronada edits, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just in the past, I've been realizing festivals. Not necessarily festivals, but there's certain events that require that little extra, organization.
As they should. You know what I mean? How would you feel if I personally reached out to you and you didn't give me your all, when it's like I put my all into this event, but you don't feel like you should be putting your all into your set? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So
Yeah.
even on the flip side of it, I could understand that. And I see you've been working a lot more with music too as well. So is that kind of you're getting more excited to do these sets too, because you're like, I need to see how this drop is gonna react to this crowd now. You know what I mean? That I just cooked up this week type shit.
Yeah, I think overall I'm just excited to be an artist and be able to create sounds and music and vibes and genres. Something as simple as wanting to say, yeah, I want to hear a reggae remix to this Big Pun song or something like that. And that's literally ran through my head at one point.
Yeah.
So that's really, I don't necessarily make music to I don't know. I would say I make ideas.
Yeah.
I'm not here to make beautiful ballads from scratch from start to finish, which I'm sure at some point. But right now, I just love the fact that I have these ideas in my head. I'm like, I want to hear this song in this genre, and I can play it out, and people would see people dance. Or I guess I've been DJing so long that like I know that there's songs that I want to have versions of.
Yeah.
And what's the best thing, but like you can do it yourself and you can go in there and make that's so fire. So yeah, that's why I've been making music, and it's been beautiful.
It's been sounding beautiful, man. Some of the locations you've been dropping to as well, and even when the chances I do get to record your set behind the scenes type shit is like, damn, he made that. You know what I mean? So I think the ideas that you got flowing, they need to be heard on bigger speakers, bigger stages, and that's what you're heading towards.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate that. And that was one thing about cool about LA is that there's a big community of DJs that are killing it in all different angles, whether people working in the Serato community.
Yeah.
And being opening their studio to me to be able to have sessions and talk, even chop it up about how they got it working for Serato. That's very interesting. Yeah. I love DJ equipment personally. So that was a intriguing aspect of that side of the business.
Yeah.
Then you got just DJ content creators that have 1 million followers on TikTok, and you're on the same lineup, and you're just like, oh shit, that's fire. Like there's so many different lanes in Chicago. It's so like it's so saturated with just like club route. Like if you're a DJ, you DJ clubs. And that's really not the reality. In general, that's just not even the main source of maximizing your potential.
Yeah.
Like a club DJing club strictly is the same concept of just DJing private events
Yeah.
strictly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're DJing in front of a bunch of people at a wedding. Like, you're getting that bread. There's a lot of fire. There's a lot of pros and cons.
Yeah.
But as your career, like, do you think that that's gonna be, DJing 100 weddings a year is that gonna put you on a festival? If that's what you no.
Yeah.
DJing clubs, I wouldn't say it might give you an opportunity to DJ, some type of festival, but that's not like you're not being booked as an artist,
Yeah.
for your sound, for your brand. You're just there to, provide opening music for the artist or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think
And we've all been there. You know what I mean?
yeah, and there's steps. There's steps that is, everybody has to work their way up, but that's definitely the reality of, understanding what the club can offer you.
Yeah.
And I think that's so misunderstood a lot in the younger DJ.
I think kind of to follow up what you're talking about, then my only question to you would be like, what would you tell like your 21-year-old version self when it comes to this DJ game?
I would say like keep working towards like benefiting from your own brand and have faith in like what you're able to accomplish with your own brand, meaning like I should have been hosting my own events and not like getting paid to host my events. There's a lot of clubs that took advantage of me and a lot of DJ partners that I had. And when I think about how many people we were bringing out, how much money we were bringing to the table, we were being taken advantage of, So I would definitely say like from the business side, definitely just do it yourself. If it costs to, X amount of money, just invest that money because, now that I'm older, that's what I'm doing now, the last couple years. And it's double, triple the amount of income coming in from, from hosting one event.
Yeah.
From having, selling your shirt, selling your music even. So yeah, I would definitely say, just if I had to talk to my younger self, just invest in yourself a little bit more and know that it's way easier. We've been doing it for so long already,
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's huge. And creating ownership for
Right.
yourself.
Yeah, for sure. You're gonna reap the benefits of how much work you put in.
Yeah.
Instead of somebody just paying you for your work and then them reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah. I feel like there's a switch that happens too, and people can read that when that's happening to someone of like, oh, they're really in their own bag now. You know what I mean? Like you're not necessarily following an outline of someone else, what they got planned for their own shit. It's like, I'm building my own shit right here.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Man, with Tengo Funk coming up, or just this year, what are some changes or additions, or how do you plan to, and not to put pressure on it, but like you doing Lala is so big with it now, it's like you got to trampoline jump into something bigger with that.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, every year we try to grow, whether it's grow with the vibe or grow with the type of DJs that we would bring. And I think this upcoming year, it's really just time for Tengo Funk to take on a bigger venue and just do things a little bit bigger as far as the space and the vibe, the overall like energy. So so our 4-year anniversary for Tengo Funk is coming up, and that's exactly what we have planned. So we're gonna we have a couple of venues in mind, but this next couple months, it's definitely gonna be a bigger overall event. More energy, bigger performers, that kind of vibe.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
it's exciting to hear, man. What's something that you wanna? Is there anything you've been thinking about lately that you've been wanting to get off your mind as far as work or culture, or you know what I mean? What are something when you're looking into this space currently?
I mean, I think overall, I've seen a lot of similarities in a lot of major cities that I got to play in. I think it's dope to see creatives take control really put their own stamp on what they're trying to do, whether it be events or workspaces or creating brands. Um, yeah, I just think that if people, we should just keep doing that, keep that up and just keep working for us and stop promoting the party, you know, specifically DJs. Like, focus on yourself, promote yourself, why you're dope, like focus on what makes you you. People that post up flyers of DJing clubs every, 4 or 5 days a week, that's cool. But from personal experience, it's just associating your brand with just strictly the club life. And for myself personally, that had to be, I wanted to make that very clear that that's not the case. Tango Funk, Gio Sandz brand, I perform in clubs, I'm an entertainer, but that's nowhere near all of what I offer as an individual, nor do my brands offer. And that's really what I've been trying to do these last couple months is sure, I still DJ clubs and do do club events, but that's just one aspect of one small part of all the events that I do, So that just being said, I feel like, up and coming DJs or DJs that might feel like, they're stuck somewhere, they haven't really found a space to grow. Focus on yourself, focus on what you can offer, and people on the outside are always looking in, whether it be opportunities at Lollapalooza, or we have another opportunity in on July. We're doing a collaboration with Mas Flow Reggaeton Festival, and that's still in the works. But we have another Tengo Funk opportunity with them. So it just goes to show that, like, if you keep on working on yourself, you can profit from that. Invest actual money into yourself, you're gonna profit from that. And people from the outside with bigger opportunities for you to grow are gonna see that, and then you can profit from that as well. So yeah, that's what I've been focusing on, and I recommend it.
Hell yeah, that's huge game. Since this is with Purpose podcast, man, what do you feel your purpose is right now?
My purpose right now to just focus on being the best creative I can be and putting out this positive content and leave that bad energy away. whatever it is I do, hopefully it makes you feel, good.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe.
Do you feel like this is the most creative you've ever been? Because I feel like I've sensed that from the outside looking in.
You know what? Yeah, as far as making music, definitely the most creative I've been in a long time. As far as like just ambition and what I want to accomplish and certain goals and like bars that I have, 100%. I feel like I haven't been this ambitious in a while. And yeah, just with different opportunities in different cities and realizing, you got one life to live. There's no right or wrong time, but time does go by so fast that if you're not doing it right now, that sounds cliche, but like legit, if you're not doing it right now, you're not even working towards it, then you're never gonna accomplish that. And I'm just trying to really buckle down and whether it's release music, just go for it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that's something that I've always been somewhat like cautious about. Like, I didn't just release music. But now that I have been able and found an outlet to release my music and show the world, and that's crazy because Instagram been around forever, right? Like, but with a little bit of like progress from Instagram Reels, it made me feel good about, okay, cool, there are people out here that want to hear some DJ, routines, or hear some of my music taste.
Right.
Kept on. Once I got a video that had somewhat of a, massive feedback in a day, almost 100K, it just showed me that, like, oh damn, well, this is a song essentially that I made 100K over. I'm not a big artist, you know, like
Yeah.
yeah, so that just goes to show, like, to me, that was my outlet that said, I for sure, like, this is something where I can show people what I'm into and what I do creatively. Nothing to do with clubs, nothing to do with parties. This is just what's in my mind, a camera, and I put it out there, and the response I've been getting is crazy, and it's been able to refresh me and give me that extra, like, just give me that extra reassurance that, like, yo, this shit is fucking love and it's dope, and just have people rock with, like, what you make. You know, like, you made a remix or a song, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It could be original, it could be a remix. Like, they're rocking with it and they're making their own videos. I get notifications all the time, like, people using my song in one of their videos and stuff like that. So yeah, it just definitely gave me that extra push. Like, yo, once you get to that some you know, love with your work, with your art, you're sharing that love for it.
Yeah.
It's lit, and it makes me want to just do that. And
Even more,
I almost want to just create content that represents me and focus on that more than performing, you know.
Yeah.
But I've been performing for so long now, so
Yeah. But people are getting they're getting the sense of, like, who you are, and people can feel that love that you have for music when they hear the track or they see you vibing to the shit that you just made. You know what I mean, it's you just being you. You're not trying to put on a front, or, you know what I mean, like, that's shit that I like this. I'm allowing you to hear it with me right now.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, you know. I know social media is toxic in a lot of ways, but
Yeah.
in this aspect, or in this example, I found something that was able for me to represent myself. Like, as a DJ performing in certain venues, and, you know, you get booked for a club and you might not want to DJ a reggaeton party.
Yeah.
And you have to put on this, like, as an entertainer, there's different personas that you have for different parties, you know.
Yeah.
Tengo Funk, if you see me DJ at Tengo Funk, that's me, that's who I am. Like,
Yeah.
however I talk on a mic or whatever the case may be, the songs I play, that's what, nobody's telling me to play that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's strictly, I play whatever I want at Tengo Funk. That's why I love it. But when I'm at a club, you know, it might not be the case.
Yeah.
I might have to give a birthday shout out, or I might have to, you know, say something that's not me, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just as the entertainer in me. It's that, you know, that character. So I just think that with the social media thing, I'm able to be me to nobody but the camera, and then show it to the world at my complete comfort, you know.
Yeah.
It's just dope. It's dope to see, you know, me just putting music out attached to, you know, myself or any, you know, scenery or whatever. And yeah, it's just really dope. It feels like, you know, putting in work and people acknowledging it.
The good vibes.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I think that's beautiful, man. Like I said, I'm a fan of everything you do. So you talking about it just kind of solidifies everything I've already thought of when people hear you perform or they see you behind the decks. You know what I mean? They know that, like, you play you're authentic to the sound that you are when you're in Tengo Funk. You're in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what you're building is definitely needed. Like you talk about when you talk about all these other cities, what you're doing for Chicago is definitely needed in this space. You know what I mean? So it's anyone that comes across and sees that that's happening, just know that comes from a place of love, and like that actually takes a lot of time and effort from other things, but it's like it's this passion, this purpose that you're building. You know what I mean? And that the city is needing. So just don't stop that.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah,
but man, I just there's so much I could talk about. I know we could talk about stories we've gone through, and we've had a crazy run of a year last year. But just want to keep it short and just bring the most valuable to the people here. And to kind of wrap things up, man, where can people find you?
You can find me in the streets. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You can find me at the next Tengo Funk party. I'll be spinning at Blind Barber throughout here and there throughout the month. I'll be in LA, back and forth from LA and Chicago.
Okay. Yes, sir. Gio, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for coming through to the
Always.
studio. And thank y'all for listening. This has been the With Purpose Podcast.